Hi, this is Robbie with Warriorspirit-teachings, and I want to start off with the prayer that I wrote today. All right. Tinkashala, Lord, Archangel Michael, and the Band of Mercy, I ask you to watch out for us. We are going through a dark time collectively. Help us to not lose sight of the light at the end of the tunnel. Help us to not be afraid when we are surrounded and we are alone. There are times that we do not feel strong enough. Archangel Michael, give us strength and lift us up upon angels' wings. Protect the innocent and keep their hearts filled with gold. Help them to not be corrupted by the darkness, but to know only of what deceit and lies it brings. Help them to know and see this truth. Help all of us to see what glory and love and light awaits all of us as the darkness diminishes off the face of the planet. Help our hearts to stay strong although we are weary. Entangle our hearts with one another no matter what race, status, or background. Help us to be as one until then when the light comes. Thank you, Tinkashala, Matakio Yase, all my relations. All right, guys, thanks for sticking in there with that prayer that I put together for all of us. So today on this video, I'd like to talk about the darkness. And so that's a pretty heavy and vast topic for sure. But I just kind of want to touch light on some things and just kind of talk about it. So collectively as a people, we're going through some dark times here on the planet. We are facing things that I haven't in my lifetime, and a lot of people alive today haven't faced. So many things are changing. So many things are just so different compared to the life that we've been living so far. And I also today want to share a little bit of a story about some of the experiences that I've had, and maybe some of that will resonate with you. And maybe that will kind of connect all of us and maybe make you feel like if you're alone right now and you are going through a dark time, that you're not alone, that I've experienced that too. And my hopes is for all of us to come to a place where we're all feel like we're all connected, and we feel like that we're strong as a people, even if we're not with each other in the physical, that all of us are so vital and so important to everything that's going on in this world and for our futures. So I guess I could start with my little story about the darkness and the things that I've been in, that I've gone through in my life. And so I was raised up tough. I was raised in a broken family. My parents split when I was young. And I was the oldest and have a little sister that's 3 years younger than me. And there was a lot of like pressure and there's a lot of stress and stuff I felt put onto me to help to grow up fast and to be strong and to help my little sister and to help my dad because he was in so much pain and heartache and sorrow because my mom left. And with that, she left us too. And I was in a lot of pain as well. And I'm telling this story not to say that my mom's a bad person. I get it. I understand why she couldn't stay now. And my mom's a really great person, and so is my dad. They just weren't good together. But that's not what this is about, this story. It's about talking about my perspective and the darkness that came with that, being in a split family and being raised by your dad and trying my best with what little skills that I had. I was a little kid to help my little sister. So it was really tough. There was a lot of sorrow, there was a lot of darkness, there was a lot of pain, there was a lot of times where I just didn't even want to be alive. And I was a child, so I wasn't thinking about killing myself, so don't think that. But I just meant, God, I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be in this tragedy, this dark hole of what I knew at the time of my life. And I remember there were times that, because my dad, he was trying his best he could to provide for us, and so he worked a lot. And then when he wasn't working, he was busy just trying to fix up the house and do stuff. So there was a lot of times where we were alone, kind of just doing our own thing and trying to be kids and do what it was like to play or to do homework or something like that. But even me, as the young age that I was, I always had this old soul, and so I wasn't always thinking about like playing and having a good time. I thought deeper, like, why is this happening? What's going on, And I remember like the fear and the unsteadiness and the anxiety and feeling not secure and safe that would come and creep in. And to me, that's part of the darkness. It's part of the fear. And so there'd be times that I would, go off alone and be just surrounded by it, and I just feel like just crushed. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it through this. And those are some tough feelings to have as a little kid. Maybe some of you can relate. Maybe some of you have been through things that you were so young and you just thought, man, this isn't fair. Like, why am I going through this? And can I make it? And so I would go off on my own, and I would go and I would cry. And I remember I'd cry so hard when I was young, because when you're young, you don't understand these things, like why your parents split up, why they can't be together. You think it's your fault. You think, man, if I was a better kid, if I was doing this, you're just not equipped with the tools to understand that it's not your fault, because you're so young, your brain, your perception's young. And But it was tough, because I thought, man, there's something that I did. And then especially like when I was alone, like soon my mom came and she got my little sister and took her away, and I was just left there with my dad, and I was alone. I remember one time that I walked into the room, the kitchen, and my dad, like I said, he was gone all the time. He was always busy. Even when he was home, he was just busy and stuff. He just, wasn't there really. Like, he was there, but he wasn't. And I remember he was just sitting at the dining room table and he was crying. And he had his hands propped up and his head in his hands, and he was crying. And I was young. I was like 5 or something, maybe. And I remember going up to him and I was just trying to console him and help him. So I was hugging him. And I remember doing that, but it's like I wanted so bad to like take his pain away, take his sadness away, and to help him to be happy again. So I hugged him. And also in that time, I remember like looking and feeling inside. Like I said, I had an old, mature soul for how little I was. And I remember thinking to myself, like, gosh, I'm little. Like, I can't help him. I'm not strong enough. I don't have the strength inside of me to be able to help him with his pain, to help get the darkness away. And gosh, it was just, there was a lot. And so there were other things that happened in my life that were pretty dark. There was I've had a lot of loss. A lot of people I've really cared for and really loved, and within moments they're just gone. And you're left with that emptiness and that darkness. Or many opportunities, you think you have a plan of what you're going to do in this life. And next thing you know, nope, it won't happen. You get a detour, and no matter how hard you want and you dream for that thing, it's not going to happen. Or in the time that you want it to. And it leaves you hollow, leaves you feeling shaky, unstable, and wondering why. And then there's been times where, I always had a tendency to just like push and power past it. Like, yeah, it'd get me down, but I wouldn't let it get me down for very long. I'd get back up. I'd get back up again and I'd go forward, trying to fight. Trying to be the little warrior that I was. So you're probably thinking, wow, this is a sad story. And it is. But it also isn't. So that, if any of you can relate with that, and any of you that know what it's like to live in dark times, to live a life that you maybe didn't want for yourself, you're in a situation you don't care for, you feel like you're surrounded, that nothing is going good for you, that maybe you have a lot of enemies around you, that there's no one you can trust. You feel dark, and you feel the negative energy or circumstances. So most of my life I spent, like I said, I wouldn't let it get me down for very long. I would just get back up and I'd be like, nope, I'm gonna go. And I would fight against it. And I would not let it affect me and not let it put me down. But that's easier said than done. I thought I wasn't letting it affect me, and I wasn't letting it stop me and put me down. But really I was, because to be able to get through the darkness, you have to be able to go through it. You have to actually let yourself experience it. Let yourself feel it. Might seem scary, might seem overwhelming, be too hard to handle. So naturally, all of us, all of us humans, we want to feel good all the time. We want to feel happy and light and free. But that's not always the case. And that's okay though. So I want you to be able to take my story of the dark times that I had, take your story and those dark times that you're going through, whether it was in the past and you're still carrying that pain in your heart, carrying that heaviness with you, or maybe you're going through a really dark time right now. And know that just like me, you will get through this as well. And the biggest thing I can tell you is to not be afraid of the darkness, because it was such a good teacher. Those hard lessons, those hard experiences that I had in life, where I was surrounded by the darkness, I didn't have anybody to go to. There are times I didn't have friends, I didn't have family. I'd suffer in silence. Or there'd be times I'd be surrounded by people, but I would suffer in silence. Those times, they taught me so much. And those lessons are so extremely valuable, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It made me who I am today. And so the other thing I can tell you, my biggest piece of advice, is don't give up. Look for that light at the end of the tunnel. Look at that light. And that's what I'm here today trying to encourage you, the people that are out there that are dealing with the darkness, to know that it seems scary, it seems huge and big, it seems like it's all around you and you can't move past it, but you can. It's a lie. It's a lie that you're going to be trapped. It's a lie that you're not going to be strong enough to be able to get past it. It's a lie that it's going to consume you. It's a lie that those emotions are too strong and too harsh and too dark, that it will consume you. It's a lie. Because once you get past it, once you allow yourself to feel it and to go and work your way through it, on the other end is magic. And I know you might be thinking, wow, you're just talking all these flowery words, but it's the only way I can describe it. It's magic. It's to know that, to me, it's magic to be able to know that you can be in such a low place, a low time in your life, and it's so dark and it's so hard to bear. I mean, I've been in times where I was in such a dark place that I couldn't even look and be around the things I used to love. I couldn't, like, I am the kind of person that I love the summertime, and I love that when things are alive and they're blooming and everything's busy and the birds are flying around and the butterflies and the flowers and the trees. There was a time I was so dark, in such a dark place, that I couldn't even stand to be outside in the sun, which is unheard of for me because I love the sun and need it. I don't really like the cold. But it was so hard to see the sun, to be out in it, to let the warmth shine on my face. It was so hard to see the life, the beautiful trees and the flowers and the grass and everything in full bloom. I couldn't handle it. So you know what I did is I just went step by step, and I slowly worked my way out of there, and I found techniques that were healing. I found out about yoga. I found out about like eating healthier in my diet. I found out about meditation. I went to clinical counseling. I would like to say that I talked to a trusted friend, that I reached out, but you know what? I've been always super independent, and unfortunately, I've been pretty prideful too. When I needed help, I should have reached out, but I thought, no, I got this. So that's tough. It's tough for me to admit that, I do have a lot of pride, and I do have a large ego at times. Ego as in thinking that, it's okay, I can do this, I can handle this on my own. I don't need anybody else's help. You've got this, Robbie. Like, the internal dialogue goes on, and maybe some of you guys can relate. So, if you are watching this video, and some of these things I've been saying is resonating with you, and reminds you of the situation you're in currently, then take my advice. Put your pride away, put it aside, and ask for help from the people that love you. Don't do what I did and suffer alone for so long that it took that much longer to get out. Allow yourself to go through it and feel it, because that's the other thing I did wrong. Is I'd say, oh, I'm fine. I'd convince myself it's fine, it's whatever. I'd feel that aching in my heart, the pain or the heaviness on my shoulder, and I'd just ignore it. Oh, it's fine, I got it. Just continue with my life. Felt like the busier that I was, the better off I was, because then I couldn't feel it. Then I wouldn't think about it. And that was a lie, because I was running. And it was crazy too, because at the time, my dad said, Robbie, you're always running. And I hated that he said that. I resented him for it. I was like, whatever, I'm not running. And thought, like, how could he say that? Like, and it's just so interesting, because at the time I just couldn't see it. But he did. He saw it. And now I know, after going through it and healing and moving past it, that I was running, and you can't run. Because if you run, it'll still be there. It'll follow you wherever you go. Like me, I'd move to different cities, moved to different locations all the time, got new friends all the time, had different boyfriends all the time, party, raise heck, run around, go be social. I'd work. I had so many jobs. I was in school. I kept myself so busy. I mean, I was running. And everything that I did, I was running. But at the time, I just thought, oh, I'm just me. I'm living my life and being 20s, in my 20s. I'm just doing a good thing, I'm just living my life, my best life. And looking back, I see that, nah, that was a lie. I was running. So anyway, I wanted to share a little bit about what I've been through and how I have come to overcome that and heal and move past it, and how I'm nowhere near the person that I was all those years ago. I am so much better for it. I'm stronger for it. And, I'm not afraid. And that's what it boiled down to. And, I'm not saying that you have to be like me. Like, go through things in your own time. Be you. Do what you need to do for you. But maybe some of my experience and some of my words today can help you heal you. And one of the neatest things that I saw was this little meme. I love memes. And it went something like this. It was like, healers aren't there to fix you. They're there to show you what you need to heal. And then another thing I saw was something along the lines of this, of to become your own healer, you have to be able to face the darkness, to go and wade in the darkness. Because when you come out on the other side, a whole new life waits for you, a whole new beginning, a whole new chapter, and you can make it through this. So, I hope this wasn't too much. I didn't want to rile up anybody's anxiety or trigger them in any way. And if you hung in there with me at the end, I congratulate you, I applaud you for not backing out, and to know that the point of this video is that you are strong. I've done it, so you can too. You can get through the darkness and you can get back into the light. You can be the phoenix rising from the ashes. Start over, start anew, become a new you. You can. So, all right, well, I just wanted to say those few words for you, and I'm praying for you, cheering you on. If you're going through a hard time right now, don't let it affect you. Don't let it tear you down. Don't let it defeat you, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, you can let it affect you. Yes, it can defeat you or feel that way. It can feel like you get to rock bottom and you don't know how to get out. That is okay, because that's part of the healing process. You need to admit it to yourself that, yes, I'm feeling this way. Yes, this sucks. Yes, whatever situation that you're in that you don't like, that's unfavorable and is making you feel so low, yes, admit that. But know that that isn't all you are. That isn't everything you are. That isn't where your story ends. And you stay in there and you stay stuck. No, change will come. Life will change. That's the thing, is this life is ever changing. You get up high, you're feeling like you're high in the sky and you're on cloud nine and you're so happy and great. And then you come down, and things aren't so great and it's not so wonderful. And then you're back up again and down. you know, and maybe it's not like that crazy roller coaster. I mean, I know I've lived that life, and maybe you have too, but it doesn't always have to be that way. It can eventually kind of start to smooth out, but you'll still have some peaks and some valleys, and that's okay. It's life. It's always changing. So that's something you can think about too, is if you feel like you're just so stuck and you're stuck in this dark time that you're not going to get out of it, no, you will. You will. Just, it's the way life works. You will get out of it. You have to come up to a peak again. It's just like the law of this world, the nature of this the nature of this beast that we're living in. Just kidding. No, it's not the nature of the beast. It's definitely a good life that we live. So, I hope that this helped you today, and take care. And I'm really horrible at this, but if this resonated with you, like, subscribe, and consider reaching out to me if you need some spiritual mentoring, some coaching. I'll put my services, my links to how to contact me in the bottom. If you'd like to have a more in-depth personal session with me where we could actually work on you, that'd be wonderful. So, thank you. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy and happy, and be a warrior. Bye-bye.